Hello, it's Greg the Ghoul coming to you from Phantasm Comics, and this week we have another special video for you. It's a previews review. That's right, we got previews, issue number 382 in stock. Just came in this week. And in case you don't know what previews is, it's basically the comic shop catalog. So previews contains everything that's coming out 2 months from now. So you get a jump start, a preview of what's coming into the comic shop. There's also previewsworld.com, so you can go there and check out previews in case you can't get a hands on the physical copy, which we have available in the shop. This book gives you the ability to kind of tailor what comics come to you from us in a really cool way. So always take a peek at previews. It gives you that 2 month jump start on what's coming out. It's a very helpful tool for us here at the comic shops. It allows me to know what to bring in. It allows me to know what people like, what's hot, what's coming out. So check out previews. We have a thick book here to jump into. I'm going to hit some of the highlights, the number ones, some of the stuff that we're bringing in. So we're not doing everything, just the highlights, but let's jump in. Here we go. Previews Magazine. So we have on the cover here Department of Truth. That's the first book from Image anyway, so let's just get right to it. We have the Department of Truth #1 from James Tynion IV and Martin Simmons. James Tynion is the type of writer that can jump to any genre, from superheroes. He's on Batman right now. He's over at Boom doing some horror books. Something is Killing the Children. Um, Another great read if you're not checking this out. We've spotlighted this before, but sort of kids on bike fighting monsters in the woods. Check this book out. James Tynion is an all-around just great writer, and this is I'm looking forward to this. Anything he puts out, I look forward to. But Department of Truth. Apparently, all conspiracy theories were true. They all existed, from the JFK murders to let's see, flat Earth theory. It's all there. It's all real. And there was an organization that was covering everything up. So what happens when those secrets start coming out? And yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, this is in the same vein as Image, other books from Image, which are Black Monday Murders, another conspiracy theory book. If you're into that, or the X Files, which we also have in stock, the comic version of X Files. So, and also Cryptocracy from. This is probably what the Department of Truth sounds like. This seems to be the closest. Cryptocracy. Um, just yeah, all conspiracy theories are true, and there's organizations that are hiding them. So check out these books that we have in stock right now. Zdarsky has a great run going on Daredevil right now. Chip Zdarsky, if you're a fan, come check out his awesome run on Daredevil. It's all culminating soon into a big storyline that he's been setting up. Got back issues on the shelf right now to catch up with. But Stillwater by Zdarsky. Nobody dies in the town of Stillwater. That's not just a promise, it's a threat. Looks pretty wild. I love the artwork. Nice coloring. No one seems that concerned other than these two people who must be, maybe they're new to town. Here comes the doctor. No, she doesn't care that this person was pushed off the building. This doctor doesn't seem that concerned. Interesting. We'll see what's going on with that book. Another one coming out, Dracula Mother Effer hardcover. This is an original graphic novel from Alex DeCampi, and artist and cover artwork by Erica Henderson. And DeCampi, one of my favorite writers. She does a lot of great horror books, mysteries and thrillers. So we also have in stock right now Semi-Automagic, about a professor who's ditching her lectures to kill monsters. But when a dark force from between universes begins seducing young souls through an innocent computer game, she packs her occult relics, holy water, and iPad to kick some eldritch ass. This book was so much fun, and what shocked me was the artwork in it. This artwork is so vibrant. Yeah, it gets pretty crazy. This book, don't sleep on this one. It's been out for a little bit, so come on in and pick it up. Fun horror piece from DeCampi. So Dracula's brides nail him to the bottom of his coffin in 1898. Los Angeles, 1974, an aging starlet decides to raise the stakes. Crime scene photographer Quincy Harker is the only man who knows it happened. But will anyone believe him before he gets his own chalk outline? And are Dracula's 3 brides there to help him or use him as bait? Interesting. Artwork looks pretty good here. And they're all getting ready for their Halloween season, so they're putting out some horror stuff in September. But yeah, this looks pretty good. We're definitely going to be bringing this book in. So this looks interesting. Inkblot number 1. Writers Emma Kubert and Rusty Glad. Artists Emma Kubert and Rusty Glad. So Emma Kubert, that is from the Kubert family. Joe Kubert, Adam and Andy Kubert. Comic book royalty right there that she's coming from. So this is very interesting to see her with her first book here from Image. And it sounds like a fun one. This is a new ongoing series to jump into. Follows a powerful sorceress attempting to correct her greatest mistake, the creation of a magical cat that can travel through time, space, and reality. The cat threatens to unravel the fabric of the universe and doesn't care and just won't listen. It sounds ridiculous. It's perfect for fans of Sabrina, which we do have in stock right now. So if you're interested in any sort of magic, witchcraft sort of sorcery stuff, this is a fun book that pairs well with this book. So check out Sabrina and check out Inkblot number 1 when it comes in 2 months from now. And let me know if you want a copy. Ice Cream Man presents the Quarantine Comics Special. Okay, so this is an interesting one. During the quarantine, the creative team behind Ice Cream Man put out some comic books online, and they sold them to raise money for the comic book Bink Foundation, which was helping out comic shops. So basically, the funds that they raised went to Bink, and those funds went to comic shops during the shutdown. So they decided to finally collect those comics that they put out, and here they are, coming out 2 months from now in September. Ice Cream Man presents Quarantine Comics Special number 1. It's a huge, oversized comic for just $5.99, and it collects all those issues that they put out. 56 pages. So if you're a fan of Ice Cream Man, which we do have in stock, you can jump on board with the Ice Cream Man trade paperbacks. Really crazy horror story. I'd highly recommend it. But also, if you want some more Ice Cream Man, there you go. Something else to sink your teeth into. Gunning for Ramirez, Volume 1. This seems like one of those 80s, 90s action flicks. What if the deadliest assassin in all of Mexico, a man with dozens of kills to his name, was actually a vacuum repairman in Arizona? Ridiculous setup. I'm on board. This is a trade paperback that comes out. If you're interested in 80s and 90s action movies, we have you covered. White Fire just came in, featured in a previous video from Arrow. American Ninja. This is 2. We also have American Ninja 1. Fun, crazy, over-the-top action. Let's see. It doesn't stop there. Double Dragon. Everyone remembers Double Dragon. On Blu-ray and in stock now. Last but not least, and nowhere near least. I mean, we have so many action films. Nightmare at Noon. So much fun on the shelf of media. Check it out if you're into that sort of stuff. And Gunning for Ramirez seems like one of those 80s, 90s action flicks. So if you're into those movies, check out this book when it comes out. Creative team on that is one person, Nicholas Petromau. I don't know how to say his last name. So let's jump on over to Dark Horse. Coming from Dark Horse, Tales from the Umbrella Academy. You Look Like Death number 1. This is the first spin-off series in the Umbrella Academy world. This one follows Seance. He gets his own series. And Seance gets kicked out of the Umbrella Academy, and his allowance is discontinued by Hargraves. So he takes to a place where his ghoulish talents will be appreciated, Hollywood. After a magical high on a vampire drug, Lord Stash, Klaus needs help and doesn't have his siblings there to save him. Can't wait to see that one. Cyberpunk 2077 Trauma Team number 1. That game is coming out eventually. We all know it's coming out, but in the meantime, we have some material for you. We have the figures in stock now, so you can check those out here at the shop. They're on the shelf. These are from McFarlane Toys, so you know they're pretty quality pieces. But here we go with Cyberpunk 2077 Trauma Team. Nadia, an assistant EMT for a privately owned business known as Trauma Team International, is the sole survivor of a failed rescue mission turned shootout. After she agrees to continue work for an upcoming extraction mission, Nadia and her new teammate find themselves in an even more dangerous and life-threatening situation. Very exciting stuff. And Dark Horse has all this other cyberpunk stuff coming out. So if you're interested in any of that sort of stuff, just let me know, and we can always get that in the shop for you. All right, here's a good one. Stranger Things, one of the most popular new properties coming out with some fun comic books. Stranger Things Science Camp, following everyone's favorite character from Stranger Things, Dustin. Dustin arrives at Camp Nowhere to navigate the new social hierarchy without the support of his Hawkins adventuring party. While also faced with nerdy bullies, a new menace haunts the young scientists and camp counselors. A mysterious figure with sinister intent arrives to disrupt the serene woodland scene. The solution won't take rocket science, but Dustin will have to get on the same wavelength as the other campers before tensions reach a boiling point. So this is ties into the series. I mean, this is all in the same world as Stranger Things. They've also put out a few other Stranger Things comics at this point. So we have Stranger Things 6, which follows other characters. 11. This is the character number 6. So you can jump in and get a lot of backstory. We also have a Stranger Things novel that's come out, and that follows the life before Hopper came to Hawkins, what he was in the big city, what he was doing there as a police officer. And there's also some middle school age Stranger Things books that have come out as well. So lots of Stranger Things stuff. We have some figures, mystery minis. So come on in and check it out. We'll definitely be getting Science Camp in. Spy Island, a Bermuda Triangle mystery. Super spy Nora Freud has a plum assignment. She's stationed on a tropical island. Her mission? Keep an eye on things. Her problem? The island is on the lip of the Bermuda Triangle, where anything can happen. Her other problem? This particular island is a den of intrigue, populated by spies, tourists, and evil villains set on global domination. And this is from the team that brought you Man-Eaters, which came out from Image Comics. Not sure if you caught on to that one. That's an ongoing book that we have in stock right now. This is a book about a mutation in toxoplasmosis causes menstruating women to turn into ferocious killer wildcats. Yes, you heard me right. Easily provoked and extremely dangerous, as panic spreads and paranoia takes root, the fate of the world rides on the shoulders of one 12-year-old girl. This collects the first 4 issues. Such a good book. The concept is outrageous, and the story is very good. So check out Man-Eaters. I believe we have 3 volumes in so far. So, and if you dig this, the creative team is going to be working on Spy Island. So check that out. Bill and Ted. Everyone was so excited about the Bill and Ted trailer that dropped. That looks very interesting. And this has Bill and Ted Are Doomed from Evan Dorkin. The new series is a direct sequel to Bogus Journey and prequel to Face the Music. So if you're a big fan of Bill and Ted and you want the continued adventures of them, definitely check this book out. And we also have in stock right now this Bill and Ted Go to Hell collection of trade paperbacks. This one's $40. The most excellent duo returns. Give the gift of these totally not bogus graphic novels starring the wild stallions as they traverse time and realms to embark on non-heinous adventures and save the universe. So, really cool Bill and Ted stuff in stock right now. And coming in 2 months, Bill and Ted are doomed. So jump on board there. All right, jumping forward a little bit to IDW. They got Goosebumps coming out in comic book form, and R.L. Stine has been putting out some original graphic novels, Just Beyond. Very similar sort of spooky storytelling, similar to Goosebumps, but now they're putting out a Goosebumps specific line. So check that out. Secrets of the Swamp, #1. It's about werewolves fighting werewolf hunters. Looks really fun. We'll have both covers in stock, so let me know if you're interested. That's an all ages book. Jim Lee's X-Men Artist Edition from IDW. This is huge. This is $150 for 160 pages. If you're not familiar what an Artist Edition is, basically they're a 1-to-1 scale rendition of a copy of the artist's pages that they did the original artwork on. They're basically scanning these pages 1-to-1 size. These are huge books, and you get a real appreciation for the art that goes into the comic books, the creation of the comic books. You really get to see how it's all done. You'll see the notes that the artist put on the pages. You'll see eraser marks, little everything. It's the real behind the scenes creation of the comic book, and that's how you get to see it. And if you're a fan of Jim Lee's artwork or that great run of X-Men they did back in the 90s, this is the book for you. Writer Chris Claremont, Artist Edition that's being featured here is Jim Lee's artwork. So don't miss this one. We'll probably bring in 1 or 2 of those. Jim Lee is hotter than hot these days, so we'll definitely have that in stock. This one looks like a fun book. Hey amateur, go from novice to nailing in 9 panels. Every page is a different 9-panel synopsis on how to master something. It sounds like a fun concept. Anything from comic book stuff to speaking in public to fun stuff like doing monster movie makeup. So artwork looks great. They have an amazing collection of writers and artists on this one. 160 pages for $20, available in November. Looks like a fun book, and we'll definitely be getting in a few copies of that. So, all right, let's see what else is up next. Oh, we're diving into Marvel. This is going to be a good one. So let's see what we got on the cover. Raise your swords. X-Men of Swords, creation #1. That's right, the big X-Men event that's happening. X of Swords. Here we go. We've got X-Men with all these mystical, magical swords going on. It's a ridiculous comic book concept that I'm completely on board for. X-Men has been knocking it out of the park lately. Jonathan Hickman driving that ship, and it is great. Catch up with X-Men. A lot of people have been doing that. We have tons of issues right behind me on the shelf. Powers of X, House of X, and then tons of back issues for X-Men. Going back to #1s, some might be second or third prints, but they're there, so you can catch up in single copies or the trade paperbacks, which we have up to almost volume 6 of the Dawn of X stuff. So check that out. Iron Man #1. Wow, look at that artwork. Got Alex Ross on a nice wraparound cover. Yes, we will have that in stock. This looks awesome. Rise of Ultraman. It's a 5-issue miniseries. Any fans of Ultraman can just stop in and pick up the Blu-ray, which has been coming out from Mill Creek. First time on Blu-ray ever. It looks fantastic. This is one of the steel boxes that we have in stock. So check out Ultraman on Blu-ray if you're a fan of those classic old-fashioned kaiju movies. So check this out. We have this in stock right now. And coming out from Marvel, I was shocked to see this, the new Ultraman story. So can't wait to see that. Classic kaiju fighting in comic book form. Definitely getting that in. Venom, Null is coming. Donny Cates has been building up to this event for most of the Venom run. Venom has been on fire. Issue 25, it was the perfect jumping in point for fans. If you're a fan of Venom from the 90s, You must jump on this series. This is a throwback, a love letter to that. And Donny Cates, superstar writer right now, is just adding tons of great stuff to the character. So don't miss this Null is Coming event. I mean, you want to jump on Venom now and get invested in the character. It's been so good, like I'm saying, and I can't wait for this. That's it for Marvel, and we're going to jump right over to Boom. We only find them when they're dead. This sounds like a great story. Al Ewing, written by and illustrated by Simone DeMeo. Al Ewing is on Immortal Hulk right now with an outstanding run on that book. We have some of the trade paperbacks in stock. The single issues we can't keep in stock. But yeah, get ready for this. We only find them when they're dead. It's a space salvaging team that takes the metals and the ore or whatever from the dead gods that are floating out on the edges of space. That sounds pretty wild in and of itself. But the main character, Captain Malik, gets it in his head that he wants to find a living god. And what happens from there is crazy. So check this one out. We only find them when they're dead. The artwork here looks extremely cosmic. Can't wait for this one to come into the shop. So from Aftershock Comics and hit writer Zach Thompson, Lone Receiver. Katrin, a lonely video producer, buys an artificial intelligence partner that's meant to bond for life. After 10 years together, her holographic wife suddenly disconnects without warning. The breakup drives Katrin to the point of near insanity. She's alone for the first time in years and reeling from the loss she can't comprehend. Sounds crazy. I love the concept. It's the idea of what if all of our cell phones just died overnight? You know, we'd wake up the next morning. Would we know what the weather was without our cell phones? Would we be able to wake up without our alarm clocks? How would we be able to function in this world? Lonely Receiver. I love the concept. The artwork looks amazing here. So we'll definitely be bringing in a copy of this. Here's AWA Upshot, the comic series that's putting out The Resistance, one of my new favorite comic books, and lots of other stuff too. They got the 4-page spread here. Bad Mother will be bringing in Year Zero, a zombie comic on a global scale, seeing people dealing with the zombie epidemic in Mexico to Antarctica to America, in Europe, Asia. It's a huge scale that they're working on for Year Zero. But what we're going to look at is Grendel, Kentucky, issue number 1. For 2 generations, hill town of Grendel, Kentucky has honored its Faustian bargain with the monster living in its abandoned coal mine, a human sacrifice every season in return for agrarian prosperity the likes of which this rocky region had never before seen, including its greatest cash crop, the dankest weed in the land. When one town elder breaks this pact, Grendel's only hope is that its prodigal daughter will return home to face down the creature of her nightmares and bring her all-female biker gang with her. Okay, so that just kept getting crazier and crazier. This sounds like a Grindhouse movie from the 70s. Some wild concept. I love it. We're definitely bringing this one in. Can't wait to read it. And look for the rest of the Upshot stuff that we'll be bringing in most of their books. They're building the Axelverse, and I can't wait to read more from The Resistance and Year Zero and others. Just wanted to spotlight this Illustrators magazine, number 31. We'll definitely be bringing in this magazine. We don't normally, but this particular one has a spotlight on Jason Edmondson, who's famous for doing a lot of horror artwork. Most notably, the artwork on the backs of NECA toys, which we have tons of his artwork on display here in the shop. And if you guys are interested in any sort of horror artwork, we have this in stock right now. Hung, Drawn, and Executed. This is the Graham Humphreys book of art, and there's lots of great stuff. He does stuff for, he does a lot of Blu-ray covers. He does a lot of those posters, updated posters for old horror films. So that's in stock right now if you're interested in horror artwork. and we'll definitely be getting in this Illustrators magazine when that comes out. So look for that on the shelves in September. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Wanted to spotlight this Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein hardcover that's coming out. Bernie Wrightson's one of my favorite artists. He's done some amazing horror work. He's even done Spider-Man in one of my favorite Spider-Man stories. So check this one out. It's one of his most famous works, the Frankenstein adaptation that he did. It comes with a Stephen King intro, and it's like a masterclass of artwork on display. So he puts the humanity in horror. Do check that one out when it comes out. I think it's only $30. It looks like, so that is definitely a bargain. Also wanted to spotlight this Trick or Treat omnibus. They've been putting out Trick or Treat stories from the Sam universe, the movie Trick or Treat, the anthology horror film that featured Sam, everyone's favorite little Halloween horror character. They've been putting out these comic books for a while now, and they're finally all collected in this great omnibus that's coming out later this year. This is the Rebellion 2000 AD page, so we'll definitely be bringing in all this stuff. 2000 AD Prague September 2020 pack, the Judge Dredd magazine, number 24, Slain, the Horned God Collector's Edition trade paperback, $24.99. Slain's been out of print for quite some time, but we'll definitely be bringing this one in. So we'll definitely be bringing all this Judge Dredd stuff in. Classic, Dredd, and Storm King Productions started a kids line. So if you're interested in spooky stories for kids that are safe for kids, this is the story to the page that you want to be focusing on. We'll be bringing in both of these, and we'll also be bringing in the John Carpenter's Tales for a Halloween Night. That's right, Storm King Productions is John Carpenter's of Halloween and The Thing fame director, his comic company. So check that out. Let's see, Robotech Archives, the Master Volume number 1. We'll definitely be bringing these in. An epic new collection of classic Robotech material featuring never before published artwork. That looks great. And that's everything that we have from previews on the comic book side. Anything else? I mean, there's tons of other stuff that we didn't look at, but that's everything that we will be bringing into to the shop. So if you get previews in your hands and you see some stuff that we didn't talk about, because there's tons of stuff in previews that we did not talk about, we can definitely bring it in for you. So just let me know if you see something cool in previews. We'll get it in the shop for you. And remember, if you pre-order stuff, we always put 15% discount on it when it gets here. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Another long video here, but check back and see you in the shop.